you guys think? Holy shit. Should I be an opera? Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for not posting in a while. Also, if this is your first time, welcome to my channel. We're happy to have you. We're like 45 strong. It's a great 45 though. It's a real good 45. Like the 45 of you. Anyway, today's video, we're talking about something that has been on my mind for a long time, but I never really knew how to put it into words. And so instead of putting it into words, I thought I would just show you. What you're looking at right now is a 20-minute timer. And you may be wondering, what is he gonna do with that 20-minute timer? Maybe he's gonna show us his juggling skills. I don't have juggling skills. Maybe he's gonna spend 20 minutes telling really, really funny jokes because he's a really, really funny guy. I could, but I'm not. Actually, what I'm gonna do with this 20 minutes is I'm going to be doing nothing. I'm gonna do nothing for 20 minutes. I got this idea when I was doom scrolling TikTok earlier today, wasting away my seconds, my minutes, my hours, my days, my weeks, my months, my years, my decades, my life. But as I was doing that, like I do every day, I stumbled upon a video of a young fella who decided that he was going to brute force boredom. And what he did to achieve that was he turned off his phone completely, he set up a 20-minute timer, he turned down the lights, he disabled anything that could entertain him, he didn't eat, he literally didn't do anything. He didn't do anything for 20 minutes straight. And now, you may be wondering, what could you possibly gain from 20 minutes of doing nothing? I don't know, and that's what we're gonna find out. So what I'm about to do is, I'm gonna hit that button, this one, right here. And we're gonna turn on that 20-minute timer. And when that 20-minute timer starts, I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna prove to you, I'll show you actually real quick. As you can see, my phone is completely off. I've had it powered off for a few hours actually because I watched another TikTok about how your brain's gonna melt away if you keep watching TikTok for the next 20 years, but that's besides the point. So phone is completely off. We'll throw it over there. And yeah, we're gonna sit and we're gonna do nothing. So that means no phone, no music, no food. I'm gonna do nothing but sit and think and stare at a wall or, I don't know, close my eyes. No napping or anything, by the way, of course. And I'm just gonna kind of stew and sit with myself for 20 minutes. Because think about it. Think about to the last time you were truly bored. And I'm not talking games aren't hitting, nothing to scroll on your phone, no good TV shows type of bored. I'm talking truly bored. Like your phone was dead, you were completely alone in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do, no guitar to play, no music to listen to, zip zap zero, nada. When were you that level of bored with zero stimulation? I don't know. For me, it's not often. It's almost never these days. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna turn on this 20-minute timer, I'm gonna sit and do nothing, and then at the end, I'm gonna journal for another 10 minutes. Basically, everything that I just, thought about, my experience in those 20 minutes, I'm gonna journal everything down, and then after those 10 minutes, so 30 minutes in total, I'll come back and I'll recap and update you guys on my experience, and whether or not I think you guys should try this as well. I'm gonna turn off these monitors, so I'm not even gonna be looking at myself. Also, real quick, I have a back injury right now, so I can't really sit. So you may see me rolling and flopping around on the floor like an idiot during this time lapse, but I don't really care. Okay, I have to, this one's on right now because I'm recording, but fuck, Jesus. This one's off. Okay, I actually can't see anything now. So hopefully the recording looks all right. Okay, so while you watch me roll around on the floor like a pig, let me explain to you why exactly it's important to experience boredom to some degree and the downsides of not doing that or constant stimulation. Being bored generally isn't like a permanent thing. It's more of like a trigger emotion. For instance, when you're bored, what's really happening is your brain is sensing that whatever you're doing is not fully stimulating enough or not engaging enough, I guess you could say. And what that does is that triggers something inside of your brain to say, hey, why don't I go and do something more stimulating? Now, unfortunately, in the current age, that more stimulating thing is often our phones or playing video games or something less engaging, I guess. So it's stimulating but not engaging. But if you eliminate that distraction of stimulation, what you'll experience is something kind of like a cognitive reset. So basically what happens in this refresh is you get something called divergent thinking, which is basically new thoughts or new ideas. And this is exactly why being on your phone is such a good cure to boredom, because scrolling TikTok or watching YouTube is just filling your brain with external ideas, but ideas nonetheless. Instead, you should aim to get those ideas internally. Turn to your own thoughts, your own ideas, and really sit with those instead of just consuming someone else's. This process promotes new internal connections in your brain, associative thinking, and kind of allows for a mental reset, kind of like how sleep resets the body, and I guess the brain too. But being bored is sort of like sleep for your thoughts, for your thinking, for your cognitive process and cognitive ability. Another benefit that you get from boredom is it's sort of like a motivational reset as well. Being bored means that whatever you're doing isn't challenging or engaging enough, and so you should switch to something that is more challenging or engaging. Now, of course, that doesn't mean our phones. I'm going to reiterate every single time, but that should be something that is actually more engaging. And it doesn't have to be sitting and just thinking with your thoughts, just like sitting by yourself, staring at the floor or the ceiling or the wall or whatever, like what I'm doing here. It doesn't have to be that. It could also be like reading a book, or, doing your homework if you're supposed to be doing your homework, or going for a walk. When you aren't experiencing boredom frequently or even occasionally, you'll often see a drop-off in emotional intelligence, critical thinking skills, metacognition, self-awareness, deep thinking, creativity, those kind of things. Studies have shown that spontaneous mind wandering, or the result of being bored and not dampening your mind with stimulation, was directly correlated to improved meaning making and problem solving in the brain. So basically, understanding physical and emotional aspects about yourself, your life, things going on, whatever it may be. We also know that constant stimulation breeds low frustration tolerance, so not being able to handle frustration or setbacks, as well as increased anxiety. It also causes people to associate things like silence, stillness, boredom with restlessness and discomfort and negative emotions in general. And in my opinion, this ties in really nicely to a concept known as VAST, or variable attention stimulus trait. VAST, it's not a diagnosis, it's sort of just a theory or a framework. The idea is basically that a lot of the things that we associate exclusively with ADHD or other attention deficiency disorders could actually instead be caused by living in a world full of constant stimulation. I mean, we're the first real generation to have phones, TikTok, Instagram, Pornhub. But basically, it says that the variability that we experience in attention and motivation, the things that we see with people with ADHD, maybe that's just a response to the environment and not necessarily an inherent trait, if that makes sense. But yeah, with all that being said, boredom is pretty good for us, and constant stimulation is pretty bad for us. And again, let me reiterate, it's not like you have to turn your phone off all the time. Like, we're obviously able to manage and handle certain amounts of it, but at the same time, maybe be a little more conscious of, when was the last time I was bored? When was the last time that I actually turned my phone off and my TV and my computer? My point is, the research tells us that it's true. We're our phones, they're kind of killing us, and we're all a little too okay with that, in my opinion. So I don't know, if you want to do something about it, this could be a fun place to start. Don't look at my dick. That shit felt like an eternity. Anyway, we're gonna do, what did I say, 10 more minutes? I'll show you guys me journaling, and then after that, I'll go through my thoughts. So how would I rate the experience? Do I recommend it? Yeah, honestly, yeah, I do. It was super easy. I'm pretty good at entertaining myself. I was definitely trying to not talk or make too much movement or distract myself as much as I could and kind of just allow myself to think. But I still managed to have an enjoyable time. Before I did this, I was almost hesitant to do it because I'm damn, 20 minutes, holy shit, I've never spent that long in my life doing nothing. But it was actually super enjoyable. And honestly, it was kind of refreshing to know that I can still entertain myself. I always knew I could entertain myself, but I don't know. It was a good feeling. The first thing that I kind of realized about myself during this process was I'm not so confident that I know which ideas and beliefs and, things that are in my head are actually mine, and which of them are just thoughts that have been funneled into my mind or spoon-fed to me by algorithms and all the media that I consume. And I didn't think of any specifics really, but I was questioning to myself, do I really believe the things that I believe? Do I really know the things that I know? Or have I just convinced myself that I do because I saw a video about it, or I saw, my favorite creator talking about it, or it's just recency bias and I just learned about it last week. Like, how much of my actual beliefs or things that I stand on, when asked about them, how much do I actually really know about them, and how confident am I that they're my personal beliefs and not the beliefs of someone else? It was an interesting thing for me to think about, and it's definitely something that I'm going to try to dive deeper into in future sessions or in meditations. And it's also something that I'm going to want to apply whenever I find myself, asserting an opinion or something. Now, the second one is a similar concept, but regarding education and learning. A problem that I've recognized with myself is that oftentimes I will use education or learning as an excuse to stop thinking or to avoid boredom. And what I mean by that is I'll often have like a podcast going in my ears or a YouTube video, talking about math or science or philosophy, psychology, things that I'm genuinely interested in. And I'll excuse this behavior of just listening and constantly stimulating myself by saying, oh, I'm doing it because I'm learning. I'm listening to Alex O'Connor, who I love, and I won't stop watching his videos. But am I really learning this information, or am I just cramming my brain full of jargon and random things to pretend like I'm learning so that I don't have to deal with my own thoughts? And this goes hand in hand with the first one, because while I don't want to stop learning, obviously, I also want to make sure that I'm not abusing this tool and using it in a non-helpful practice, if that makes sense. The third thing that I noticed was I felt the creativity coming back into me. And I don't know, this might be placebo just because I've been told that's what happens, like boredom breeds creativity. And, it's my first time doing this and it just miraculously worked. But it really did feel like that. It really did feel like that. Within those 20 minutes, I became more creative. I don't know. I feel like I got, a new perspective. I was more in sync with my own mind. Like, the person that I am was in sync with my own thoughts. Like, I wasn't separate, which I often feel like I'm separate from my own thoughts. I don't know. That's a weird thing. I don't really know how to put that into words. Yeah, I definitely feel like I was more creative. I was coming up with like video ideas in my head, which is something I've been struggling with for 2-3 weeks. As you can see by my lack of uploads, it was really nice to know that I'm not cooked, and there is hope for me. I can come back from this. So my final thoughts on this are, it was really good. And I think I'm going to keep doing it, a couple of times a week, hopefully every single day, because I think there's real benefit to this. And I'm pretty aware of how bad media addiction is and constant consumption and doom scrolling. Like, I made a whole video about it. It's not good. And the fact that I've been letting myself get away with it, knowing that there's a better way to live my life, it's kind of been pissing me off. So I'm glad that I've actually dipped a toe in the water, because now, I don't know, I feel like I have more confidence to actually go through with something like this, I have the confidence now to be okay with turning my phone off or not doom scrolling, because I'm not just going to instantly die if I don't have stimulation, And I wrote down in my notes that it doesn't have to be sitting in my room doing nothing for 20 minutes or staring at a wall for 20 minutes, although that, might have a different effect, I don't know. But it could also be something as simple as a 10-minute meditation, guided or unguided, or taking a nature walk. I'm really fortunate to live in a super beautiful area. There's a nature preserve right next to my house. And the fact that I'm not taking advantage of that every single day baffles me. Why would I rather spend time on my phone than go stroll through a beautiful scenery and have a nice, lovely sunset walk every day? Overall, I feel super refreshed. It was a really positive experience. I feel like my dopamine levels have stabilized to some degree. And like I said, this could completely be placebo. Holy shit, that's hard to say. But yeah, give it a try. Try it out for yourself. See if you like it. See if you feel the same way I did. With all that being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, or don't. It doesn't really bother me. Yeah, I might do different variations of this going forward. So if you want to see another video like this, let me know. Also, I got ink on my shirt. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to see staring at a wall for 20 minutes. I just realized that would actually be pretty funny to watch. Maybe I'll have some more realizations if I do that. But yeah, subscribe, comment, share it to your family group chat. Matter of fact, share it to your school. Show this to your teacher. Show this to your dog. Send this to your grandma. Okay, I'm done. Okay, peace out. Love you.